the TokyoBill Weekly Update, an end-of-week news brief on events in and around Japan. Today is June 22nd, 2024. Summer 2024 is shaping up to be a scorcher with rising temperatures already hitting Japan. On June 12th, Fukushima Prefecture saw a scorching 35 degrees Celsius, marking the first extremely hot category day of the year. Tokyo has also experienced unusually high temperatures for the year, above 30 degrees Celsius. The country is bracing for another sweltering summer following last year's record-breaking heat. As the humidity can make the heat even more unbearable, it's recommended to stay indoors and ensure air conditioners are working properly. Kirin Holdings of Japan is looking to further their acquisition of skincare brand Fancl Corp for $1.4 billion. As the beer maker shifts toward the health and wellness sector due to declining beer consumption in Japan, this move is part of their strategy to enter new markets. Kirin already owns a 33% stake in Fancl and is offering 2,690 yen per share to acquire the remaining shares. Fancl's shares surged by 21% following the announcement. Fancl, known for its skincare products and nutritional supplements, will be delisted after the completion of the deal, which is expected to be finalized by July 29th. The government of Japan has introduced a new measure allowing foreign trainees to change jobs within the same industry, which has been met with mixed reactions. Some rural businesses are concerned about the potential loss of workers to urban areas, while others see it as a way to enhance working conditions. The previous technical intern training program, in place since 1993, prevented workers on the scheme from switching jobs, leading to abusive environments and high turnover rates. The new system aims to address labor shortages by allowing workers to change jobs after 1 year, provided they meet language and skill requirements. However, regional firms fear losing staff to urban companies, citing concerns over labor shortages. Experts believe that allowing job changes is crucial for workers' rights and will lead to improved productivity and talent retention. Saipan commemorated the 80th anniversary of a World War II battle between Japanese and U.S. troops. The Battle of Saipan saw significant casualties, with tens of thousands of lives lost. Officials highlighted the importance of the Japan-U.S. alliance in maintaining regional peace. No surviving former soldiers attended the ceremony due to advanced age. The battle, which took place in 1944, resulted in the deaths of thousands of Japanese troops, civilians, American soldiers, and indigenous people. Japanese soldiers staged suicide attacks on U.S. forces during the battle over Saipan, which later became a U.S. base for air raids on Japan. Leaders emphasized the sacrifices made during the war and the value of the Japan-U.S. alliance in promoting peace in the Indo-Pacific region. The transfer of U.S. Marine Corps troops from Okinawa to Guam will begin in December as part of a long-standing Japan-U.S. forces realignment plan aimed at reducing the burden on the southern island prefecture. The plan, agreed upon in 2012, will see 4,000 of the approximately 19,000 Marines in Okinawa moved by around 2028, with the total number eventually dropping to around 10,000. The move is seen as a response to China's military assertiveness in the region. Japan and the United States have agreed to delink the Futenma Air Station relocation plan from the Guam transfer plan due to a lack of progress, with locals in Okinawa calling for the base to be moved out of the prefecture. The cost of the Guam transfer is estimated at $8.7 billion, with Japan expected to shoulder up to $2.8 billion. Eddie Jones will coach Japan in a rugby test match against England in Tokyo. Japan, ranked 12th in the world, is led by Jones after a successful first stint. Steve Borthwick, coaching England, is wary of Japan's potential under Jones, who previously coached England. Both teams are in transitional phases, with England missing key players like Owen Farrell and George Ford. Borthwick is confident in the young players he has selected, encouraging them to play without fear. Jones praises the progress in Japanese rugby and the impact of high-performance environments. The upcoming match will showcase the two teams looking to build for the future and continue their development on the global rugby stage. Himeji Castle, a UNESCO World Heritage Site, is considering a significant increase in admission fees for foreign tourists. The current fee is 1,000 yen for adults, but the mayor of Himeji City has proposed raising it 3 times over for foreign visitors, sparking debate. The castle, known as the White Heron Castle, was built over 400 years ago and receives around 1.5 million tourists annually, with nearly a third coming from overseas. The mayor explained that the fee increase is necessary due to the high volume of visitors causing wear and tear on the wooden structure of the castle. While the proposal is still under discussion, there are concerns about the potential impact on tourism and negative impressions among tourists. Russian President Vladimir Putin emphasized deepening economic and trade cooperation with North Korea to circumvent international sanctions. In an article published in North Korean state media, Putin expressed the two countries' plans to create alternative trade systems not controlled by Western countries and to resist measures deemed illegal. He is set to visit North Korea for the first time in 24 years on a 2-day state visit. During the visit, Putin and North Korean leader Kim Jong-un are expected to discuss military matters and other cooperation, potentially signing a treaty on bilateral strategic partnership. The article also highlighted North Korea's support for Russia in its conflict with Ukraine and their shared opposition to Western interference in creating a multi-polarized world order. The United States Navy, Royal Canadian Navy, Japan Maritime Self-Defense Force, and Armed Forces of the Philippines conducted a maritime cooperative activity in the Philippines' exclusive economic zone to uphold freedom of navigation and strengthen regional security and stability. The activity involved naval vessels from each nation participating in exercises to test interoperability and demonstrate their individual military capabilities. These exercises were conducted in accordance with international law to ensure the safety of maritime navigation and protect the marine environment. The U.S. Navy regularly operates alongside allies in the Indo-Pacific region to uphold the rules-based international order and promote a secure and prosperous region. Blackstone has made a 276 billion yen bid to acquire Japanese digital comic distributor Infocom, offering 6,060 yen per share in a tender offer. This deal includes buying out Teijin's 58% stake in Infocom for 134 billion yen after the acquisition is finalized. Infocom operates Mecha Comic, one of Japan's largest digital comic sites. Global investor interest in Japanese companies has increased due to factors like a weak yen, strong public markets, and improved corporate governance. Mergers and acquisitions in Japan hit a record $35.5 billion in 2023, with the Infocom acquisition being the largest private equity deal in Japan this year. Teijin expects to make a 105 billion yen profit from the sale of Infocom in the current financial year. The United States Export Policy Chief Alan Estevez met with the Dutch government, later heading to Japan to urge allies to further restrict China's ability to produce cutting-edge semiconductors. This is part of an effort to expand a 2023 agreement to keep chip-making equipment from China to prevent its modernizing its military. China criticized the United States for coercing other countries and hindering the global semiconductor industry. The U.S. first imposed restrictions in 2022 on shipments of advanced chips and equipment to China, leading Japan and the Netherlands to follow suit. The U.S. is now in talks with allies to potentially add more Chinese chip-making factories to the restricted list. ASML, the world's largest chip equipment maker, is central to these discussions, with the U.S. aiming to control more chip-making equipment going forward. The Japanese state visit to the United Kingdom next week will not include the traditional trip to number 10 Downing Street due to the general election campaign. The visit by Emperor Naruhito and Empress Masako will still include a formal banquet at Buckingham Palace, attended by the Prime Minister and the leader of the opposition. The visit will highlight economic, military, cultural, and scientific links between the United Kingdom and Japan, with visits to the Francis Crick Institute and Kew Gardens. It will also showcase the soft power of higher education connections, with a day in Oxford, where both the Emperor and Empress studied. The visit aims to strengthen diplomatic ties and promote mental health awareness. Japan's Diet passed a bill for a system to check if job seekers working with children have sex crime records, similar to Britain's Disclosure and Barring Service, or DBS. This law allows child-related businesses to access information on applicants' criminal history, including sex crimes and violations related to children. Offenses like sex without consent and child pornography are included in the checks. Records are accessible for 20 years after prison sentences and 10 years for fines. The law also covers ordinances like groping and sneak photography. Diet committees have suggested including underwear theft and stalking in future checks, as well as expanding the scope to freelance workers such as babysitters. The government plans to implement the system within 2 years. A psychiatric evaluation determined that Tetsuya Yamagami, accused of shooting former Japanese Prime Minister Shinzo Abe, is mentally fit to be held criminally responsible. His defense did not challenge the evaluation results and postponed a request for another evaluation. The upcoming trial will likely explore Yamagami's upbringing and the homemade gun's lethality. Yamagami targeted Abe due to perceived connections to the Unification Church, which his family believed caused their financial ruin through donations. The religious group, founded in Korea in 1954, was later introduced to Japan, supported by Abe's grandfather, former Prime Minister Nobusuke Kishi. The first hearing date for Yamagami, arrested in July 2022, has not yet been set. The Diet passed a revised law to regulate online products sold by foreign sellers to consumers in Japan due to a rise in accidents involving these items. The new rules require overseas businesses to appoint a domestic supervisor for safety management. Concerns were raised about the lack of accountability for products sold online. There have been incidents, such as fires caused by mobile batteries in recent years. The Ministry of Economy reported a significant increase in serious accidents related to online purchases. The law targets businesses selling potentially dangerous items, requiring them to display a safety compliance mark. Violations will result in public disclosure of the responsible person's name. Additionally, regulations for children's toys mandate compliance with Japan's technical standards to prevent substandard products from being sold. A revised ordinance in Tokyo's Shibuya ward imposes a year-round ban on nighttime street drinking, unanimously approved by the local assembly. The ban aims to tackle issues like littering and excessive noise caused by outdoor drinking. Effective from October 1st, it expands the ban to include the area around the ward office and Miyashita Park, with security guards patrolling from 6 p.m. to 5 a.m. daily. Recent incidents involving drunken behavior led to the revision, as tourists and locals turned to street drinking during the pandemic. Surrounding municipalities are monitoring the results, with similar bans proposed in Shinjuku Ward. Japan's Defense Ministry reported that 3 Russian Navy ships traveled through the Tsurugaru Strait towards the Pacific Ocean. The Japanese self-defense forces monitored the movement closely after Russia announced a military drill near Japan. The Maritime Self-Defense Force spotted a Russian Navy destroyer and 2 tank landing ships near Oshima Island in the Sea of Japan. The vessels later passed through the Tsurugaru Strait on their way to the Pacific. Russia's defense ministry confirmed that its Pacific Fleet will conduct the exercise from June 18th to the 28th, with about 40 ships participating. Navigation warnings were issued for potential missile drills. Japan's defense ministry suspects that the 3 Russian vessels will participate in the exercise. SoftBank is developing AI-powered emotion-canceling technology to modify the voices of angry customers during calls with customer service reps, making them sound calmer. This aims to reduce stress on call center staff facing harassment. The technology, set to launch by March 2026, uses a dataset to recognize and alter vocal characteristics associated with anger and hostility in real time. It adjusts pitch and inflection without changing the conversation content, also monitoring for potential abuse. While the initiative addresses customer harassment in Japan, concerns exist globally about ignoring root causes and filtering emotions through AI. English learners can improve their writing skills by focusing on making good arguments rather than mastering complex grammar and vocabulary, according to new research from Kobe University. The study, conducted by Professor Sachiko Yasuda, found that essays with more compound nouns and semantic density tended to score higher than those with complex grammar. This challenges the conventional belief that longer units or clauses indicate sophisticated writing. Yasuda emphasized the need for improvement in English education in Japan, pointing out that writing is often neglected in schools. She suggested that teachers focus on encouraging students to express their opinions and write fluently, rather than solely focusing on grammatical accuracy. Japan has imposed new sanctions on Russia, freezing the assets of financial institutions and individuals directly involved in or supporting Moscow's actions against Kiev. The sanctions include export prohibitions and a permission system for payments and transactions, and target 42 Russian entities and 11 individuals linked to the annexation of Crimea or destabilization of eastern Ukraine. Included among those blacklisted are companies like Alrosa, Tupolev, and Ilyushin. Over 1,000 individuals and 150 entities from Russia are already on Japan's sanctions list due to the Russian-Ukraine conflict. China's embassy in Japan stated that Japan has no right to intervene in China-Philippines maritime matters regarding the South China Sea. Japan expressed concerns over actions that obstruct freedom of navigation and increase tensions in the region, including an incident where a Filipino vessel was damaged. The Philippines denounced China's actions as illegal and aggressive, leading to strong opposition from China. China claims most of the South China Sea, rejecting a 2016 ruling by the Permanent Court of Arbitration against its claims. Japan, along with the United States and the Philippines, conducted a joint maritime exercise in the region, emphasizing the importance of upholding the rule of law at sea. The U.S. Treasury has added Japan to its list of countries under foreign exchange monitoring, along with China, Vietnam, Taiwan, Malaysia, Singapore, and Germany. Despite no major trading partner being found to manipulate their currency, these countries were placed on the list due to criteria such as trade surpluses and current account surpluses. China remained on the list due to its large trade surplus with the United States and lack of transparency in foreign exchange policies. Japan was added despite recent interventions to boost the yen's value. Vietnam also met monitoring criteria but made efforts to modernize its exchange rate management and monetary policy transparency. Japan's space agency, JAXA, has been targeted by cyber attacks since late last year, but no sensitive information on rockets and satellites was compromised. Measures are being taken to investigate and enhance cybersecurity. With Japan's focus on countering cyber threats and China's military expansion, the country is looking to strengthen its defense capabilities. Officials emphasize the importance of cybersecurity and ensuring the protection of classified information. The Defense Ministry and Education and Science Ministry are closely monitoring the situation to prevent any potential leaks or damage from future cyber attacks. And in local Tokyo news, last Saturday evening, a visiting female Taiwanese politician, Chin Ying-ho, known by some as Taiwan's most beautiful politician, was harassed by an intoxicated man outside Otsuka Station. She posted online her filmed attempts to avoid him, which included him following her into and around a bookstore, where he eventually groped her backside as she left. Ms. Ho defended herself by kicking him in the groin before contacting the police, who subsequently arrested the man. Ms. Ho clarified on Instagram that she harbors no ill will toward Japan as a country, and expressed gratitude for the assistance of the police. She emphasized the importance of female travelers staying vigilant and taking precautions in unfamiliar environments where help may not be readily available. This has been the Tokyo Bill. I've been and remain Tokyo Bill. Thank you for listening, and take care.